Please sit down. Do the invocation prayers. Om Akranti Varandasya Gnananjana Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Gadamahyam Dadati Shwavadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Padamalam Shri Guru Vaishnava Shri Guru Sattvajatam Sargana Raghunatam Vidam Sajivam Sadvaitam Shravadhutam Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Padan Sargana He Krishna Karma Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Tata Tapta Ganjani Gauranghe Shabbat Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Sindhu Aditana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare. Can you allow me to share the screen? Yeah. I opened. Okay. So we'll recite this verse. So far, we were discussed about till the 8th verse of the 2nd chapter. And that was on March 5th. Then 12th, we had this other program. I think it was the Kirtan program. And then last week, we had that session on Jignasa. So today, we are continuing with the verse number 9. So till now, we heard what is Arjuna's reason for not fighting the battle. So that is how he was perceiving the problem before him. And then he, in the 2nd chapter also, he gives further reasons as to why he doesn't want to fight or perform his duty. So duty means we have no option. We have to do it. Just like this laptop is there. Its duty is to function like a laptop. I cannot use it for a pillow or something like that. This mic is there. Its duty is to help amplify my voice. So similarly, every one of us has a duty which nobody else can do. There are some things which I can do and others cannot do, or I can do something, someone else can do which I cannot do. So that is the definition of duty, which means we have no option. So Arjuna was confused about what is his duty, and he presented many arguments to Krishna. And now in response to that, Krishna will give his instructions to Arjuna. So just try to repeat this verse after me. Sanjaya Uvacha. Sanjaya Uvacha. Evam Uttva Rishikesham. Evam Uttva Rishikesham. Gudakesha Anantapah. Gudakesha Anantapah. Nayutsya iti Gopindam. Nayutsya iti Gopindam. Utva Tushnim Bhakuvaha. Utva Tushnim Bhakuvaha. So, the word to word meaning is like this. Sanjaya Vacha. Vacha means he spoke. Sanjaya said. Evam thus Uttva speaking. Rishikesham. Krishna, the master of these senses. So, just like there's someone who's controlling the entire electricity supply here. So, all our senses are said to be controlled by Krishna. How is it? Now, Gudakesha means Arjuna was overcome ignorance. Just like when the sun is there, I can see everything clearly. So, if suppose assume that God is there in front of us, obviously everything will be revealed to us. Just as when there's light, I can see everything. So, Arjuna is master of curbing ignorance. So that was his already an accomplishment of Arjuna, that he was constant friend of Krishna. So there was no scope for him making a mistake. Parantapa says the chastiser of the enemies. So normally we see someone as a friend or our enemy, but actually it is our own conception which makes us think about someone as a friend or an enemy. So here when it says the chastiser of the enemies, he's first chastising his mind. He's able to keep his mind under control so that he is able to perceive others and the world properly. So that was his accomplishment already. But here it says no, yotsuye. Yutsu is a Japanese word also, they use this word. Means I shall not fight. So although it was his Kshatriya duty to fight, and having come to the battlefield, he is supposed to do this. He has decided not to fight. Govinda, but at the same time, he says Krishna as Govinda, means one who gives pleasure to the senses. See, whatever we desire, somehow it is getting fulfilled. Whenever I want to eat something, I want to see something, I want to smell, I want to touch and hear something. Somehow I'm able to fulfill that desire. So how is it possible? Someone may say it just happens by chance. But we also know in certain situations, even if we want to eat something, we cannot eat. I may be a very rich person, but I may have a debilitating disease by which I cannot eat, even if I want to eat something or I have the money to eat it. So similarly, we want to see many things, smell, taste, touch, and hear, but in certain situations, we are not able to fulfill that desire. So from this, we should conclude that there is someone who is enabling us to fulfill our desires, and that is Govinda. And says Gupta, saying, Tushni, silent. So although he was speaking till now very proficiently, he came to the point that he would not speak any further. And Babuva became, certainly. So translation is like this. Sanjaya said, having spoken thus, Arjuna chastised of enemies, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. So every verse, if you see, there are 4 parts. And if you're able to connect all the 4 parts, then you can understand and remember that particular verse. Here, firstly, it says Sanjay Uvacha. So, on behalf, Sanjay is able to witness this battlefield and reveal it to Dhritarashtra. So, someone may ask, okay, what is the proof that Krishna spoke this Bhagavad Gita or Arjuna? What is the proof that Mahabharata took place? So, similarly, there is no proof that Dhritarashtra saw the battle or the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. But since it was revealed to him by Sanjaya, it was possible for him to see. So similarly, we may not be able to see or we have witnessed the Bhagavad Gita or the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. But since it is spoken by someone who has seen it, then that tradition we come to know. Just like previously, there were not any television telecasts of something happening across the globe. And that time they used to have a commentary, like a radio commentary. So although I didn't go to the West Indies, a cricket match is going on there, and someone is giving a commentary, and I could hear and see. Enable me to see something. So Sanjaya said, having spoken thus, which means Arjuna had spoken to the level of his intelligence. Whatever he could analyze according to his intelligence, he had put forward. And at the same time, it says chastiser of the enemies, which means he is fully controlled his mind and senses. It's not that whimsically he has presented some problem. Just like sometimes patients go to the doctor and they are not able to clearly explain to them what is the problem. But in this case, Arjuna knew very well what is his problem. So that's why it says chastiser of the enemies, which means he could distinguish between what is right and wrong argument. And he is addressing Krishna as Govinda, which means he is not telling his problem to the wrong person. Just like if you have some disease, if you go to the wrong doctor, no use, it's a waste of time and effort and money. But here Arjuna was speaking to Krishna himself, who knows perfectly what is happening with everyone. And Govinda, I shall not fight. So basically, he's not willing to perform his duty. And what is the cost of not performing your duty? Supposing you're a doctor and you stop performing medical practicing medicine, or if you're a lawyer and you're not practicing law, or if you're an engineer and don't practice engineering. So it's one sense you are degrading yourself. So duty means you have no option, as I told in the beginning. So Arjuna is come to that point where he's saying, I will not perform my duty. So, and he fell silent, which means he could not go any further. So here in the commentary, so when there's a verse is there, Sanskrit verse, and that is translated for our understanding, and then it is further elaborated. So it says that Dhritarashtra, who was hearing Sanjaya narrate this conversation, he was very glad. So generally, when we see a cricket match or something, the moment our team is scoring well, we become very excited. But an intelligent person knows that okay, the initial excitement is there, but anytime the trend can reverse itself. Whereas this Dhritarashtra was blind both materially and spiritually also. So therefore, he is reacting to the situation at the moment is without foresight. So what he is saying, he is thinking that Arjuna will not fight anymore. At this point, he thinks that Arjuna will not fight. But he doesn't see that Arjuna is sitting beside Krishna. Even if Arjuna doesn't fight, either Krishna himself will fight or Krishna will give sufficient instruction to Arjuna so that he himself will do the fighting. But at the same time, Dhritarashtra has employed someone like Sanjaya, who was his secretary. And Sanjaya was also a disciple of Veda Vyasa. Vyasa means he knows all knowledge. He has written down all the knowledge. And being a disciple of Vyasa, Sanjaya could put some sense into Dhritarashtra. And so, first, what does he address Krishna? Arjuna has many names. But Sanjaya is using the specific name, Gudakesha. Gudaka means sleep. Normally, a person is very accomplished. He sleeps very little. If you see the most successful people, they sleep less. Of course, there are opposites also. But generally, a person who's very accomplished is able to sleep less. So, Gudaka means one who has overcome sleep and also means one who has overcome ignorance. Just like the same example I gave, when the sun is there, you can see everything clearly. You don't need any light. So because Arjuna had Krishna as his friend, he could see things clearly. And so Sanjaya is telling Sanjaya is telling to Dhritarashtra that Arjuna has a friend like Krishna, and therefore he can overcome sleep and ignorance. And now, what is the problem with Arjuna? He is overwhelmed with false grief. Grief is required. If you don't have emotions, you cannot perform properly. Just like you are watching a movie. Sometimes they're comedy, sometimes they're tragedy, sometimes there's something serious. So basically, grief is also good if it helps to perform your duty. But in this case, it's said to be false grief, which means it is deceptive. And what is this false grief due to? Family affection. So normally we say affection means we like it. Okay, they are very affectionate towards me. I am affectionate to my family members. So we think that is good for us and good for the others. But here the word affection can be used the other way also. Just like we say something is affecting us. Affecting, when we use the word affect, it means it is having a negative influence on us. So here it's said to be due to family affection. The same family, sometimes it helps us to come forward in life. You can see some people, they come from a family which has propelled their success. But the same family sometimes can be the cause for their losing something. So here in this case, he was affected by his family, but at the same time, he surrendered to Krishna, which means he was not depending on himself. All that, just like if you are a very strong person and supposing you fall ill, you still have to go to a doctor. You cannot say, I'm a very strong person, I don't need a doctor or I don't need a lawyer. Yeah, I can fight it out myself. So Arjuna, at this moment, he understood that by himself he could not overcome this problem. So he willing to take the advice of Krishna and the supreme spiritual master. So what is Krishna's position? He is the supreme spiritual master. Master means he has control over everything. He knows everything very clearly, and he is also spiritual. Spiritual means numinal. Before us, we see something, and behind it, there may be some other reality. So Krishna knows both the phenomenal and the numinal. and supreme. So, and Arjuna is willing to be disciplined by Krishna. Unless there is some discipline, just like you see most successful players, they accept some discipline from morning to evening. They practice something, and someone is supervising them. So Arjuna was willing to be disciplined by Krishna, and so in this, if there's this perfect combination, then it says that you will be free from false lamentation resulting from family affection, which means family affection is good, just like you take salt or sugar or oil. It is good for eating also. At the same time, excessive salt, excessive oil, or sugar can spoil our health. So similarly, family is good. Why Indians are sometimes very successful? You see the most successfully the people in the world, they happen to be Indians. Even if you go to the foreign countries, UK or US, some of the rich people are Indians. So what is their strength? They have a good family background. Birlas, they say, they are family. So this the negative effects of this family affection will be overcome by Arjuna because of his direction from Krishna. He would be enlightened with perfect knowledge of self-realization. So what is self-realization? The self-realization is three things. One is to know about ourselves. Then to know about God, who is controlling every one of us. And third is to know about material nature, how the nature is working. These three things are known as self-realization or Krishna consciousness. Because everything depends on Krishna or God. Living entities depend on God. Material nature depends on God. So Krishna consciousness means how to understand the interrelationships between these three, and would then surely fight. So with this knowledge, someone who has this knowledge, he will definitely fight. Just like some of the successful doctors, if you see, or every time they are performing some surgery, because they have full knowledge about, full experience about what they are doing. So they cannot sit idle. Something or the other, even if they want to sit idle, someone will ask them to do something. So the Dhritarashtra joy would be frustrated. So normally, there are two sides in our heart. Something is there motivating us to do something, and there's parallelly something which is demotivating us. If you see, observe in our own life, every step from morning to evening, something is motivating us and something demotivating us. So here, Dhritarashtra represents someone who is always frustrated because he is going against the plan of God. When you try to swim against the current, you will drown soon. So here, Dhritarashtra and people like him, Kauravas, they are acting against the plan of God. Whereas Arjuna was trying to cooperate, understand the plan of Krishna and work for that. So since Arjuna would be enlightened by Krishna and would fight to the end. The duty means not something you take it up immediately and then give it up in the middle and again take it up. Something it has to be done forever. Then supposing this mic is there, suddenly it stops working, then it's no use. So like that, duty means something which has to be continued forever. So now with this knowledge Krishna gives to Arjuna, he will be able to do his duty to perfection. So any comments or questions on this particular verse? Please feel free to ask, even if it's a simple doubt. Yeah. So amidst this, we have a very important guest here. His Grace. Prabhu, you come out here, but it will discuss.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu is his body is not good, and he is and it is a very source of inspiration for all of us. So we all can take this opportunity and make it. Thank you very much for the meeting.
I think without my am I okay? Yeah, I think
Still you can use it.
It's okay. Be comfortable.
because there is something which is inside. I suddenly have in my throat. With that, whatever I can manage. Anyway, It's really a pleasure and honor to be host. Thank you for this 3 hours that was to for giving me an opportunity to be an host to this wonderful evening amongst my students and scholars. People are very watchful and nurturing hands of the wonderful parents. So some of you might be not with your parents, some of you might be with your parents, but nevertheless, you are under the nurturing hands of in the nurturing hands of the wonderful parents. So I request you to utilize this association and this sangha. And it's such a great subject. Which can be learned and learned and that is great. Such a great scripture is Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So once again, I really all of you for joining these sessions and please do continue and please actively participate and we see this contribution to the society towards sharing this when people from Eligibility, they come forward and share such information. It has more value. It's already valuable. It's better. When it is tainted with that teach of professionalism and being able gets added value as a conversation. But people get to see through those sides. It's more beneficial, so really more towards support as well. And we wish you all success in that those ventures. And to share, to briefly share about me, introduce about me, basically I am a India. I also want to share basically to get training and capability development of oil and gas production and cost. It's been a journey of almost 20 years in that industry. Here I am, and my good wife, Gita, she's a lovely. So together as a family, we are practicing this consciousness for 2 decades. So it's been a wonderful journey along with the whole family. That's nothing special about it. Happy Easter to come and be thank you.
You keep adding on that. All right.
On this, in the first gathering stage, she Sanjaya has used on was very careful. Sanjaya is already very good. He's a great personality. He's already blessed by the Supreme Court. He's you can say an absolutely movement of the law. And he can hold that he using the words go with the can go to words. Aim of communication, Buddha Kesha, Rishi Kesha, Buddha Kesha, Parantapa, Nayot go in the football scheme of that phrase, when Sanskrit is used in certain exclusive specific circumstances, whereas when out of explanation or maybe out of let's say display, that could be out of job, out of in those situations that we can see that a lot in Ramayana as well, balancing all the other users. So a person of Arjuna station, no reason, no fact. You know, doesn't want much. No, no, this. Is that very important that we are program Arjuna is doing this. So that's how Arjuna is literally so that's one thing. I think without why does he use those words? Why both fully against or against? After when they deeply analyze, then we do the words, when we analyze our ability, This lead, your lead is in the line, is limited. Whereas for Acharya is unlimited. Through that limited, the way another the actual discussion happening between Arjuna and even like a study this visible water, this certainly water. Do you consider your only? What is what is why we have to do why not something without visa? What do you without visa? One less, one less need. Arjuna is also to get check and in our case, when we take our body needs, the our mind needs, and then sometimes better intelligence needs. So it doesn't stated that we go to bed. In Arjuna's case, none of it can remain will go to sleep and can remain having access. And you will still be developed. For us, after we over the area of eating others. That's not the case. Even if we want back with full blown so such a person is truly and vitally deep. One who doesn't get tired at all is expressing the meanings of this. And these more chivalry. That's why one who can one has got skills, one can find any in the back. He is expressing that meaningless, okay, fine. Then how about the Krishna? So this gentleman, Arjuna, is expressing some bodily features, sensory features. Whereas Lord Krishna is also called as Krishna. He is the master of the world. He is the controller of us. He can find tomorrow whatever those weaknesses, that can be completely vanquished by Krishna. That's why they use the word Krishna. Krishna makes senses. Isha, control of senses. At the same time, Govinda, he knows exactly what is happening in Krishna practically doesn't require any of these concepts. We can analyze chapter number chapter number 1, text number 13 to 35. We go to, you will see that Arjuna has lost his endless qualities. He's already self control. He is fully tolerant. He doesn't need any sort of material enjoyment. He is alone from material enjoyment. He doesn't require any material comfort like us. And he is completely controlled. Sama, Dharma, Krishna, and Bharati, or the fourth one. Shraddha, faith. He has got implicit faith in Krishna's words, in Shastra's words. So that is the station of a person who is already a religious. He doesn't require any religion. Religion can be small, but religion he has captured everything. Already he has captured his mind. Already is completely controlled. The rest of your whole religions, if Arjuna and Pandava strength because of the Lord. These already knows chapters. From verse. So that's extremely good. Yeah. So very personality. So that's why it is amazing. How come Arjuna's so I have completely independent. And they are very see the context that the previous good are I am surrendered to the land. Surrenders to land. Oh, Krishna, he said me. About what? Dharma. What is that? The Dharma what we want to do. If we go to so here's what necessary. The short way about the basic Arjuna when Rukmani, Satyabhama, and Krishna were there, wearing a flag. Rukmani is Satyabhama and is and all you go before you do queen and other queens. He told us that the way so they were wanting to okay, first sent okay, the Arjuna has so using the class, you can visit the class and the palaces. You can read up and they were put on this on the bed. So we were to know what is they are not bothered me on this that. This is from his body force, in the core of the previous Krishna, 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 Krishna. Yet the core of the famous Krishna who means. He was so eager, they observed that he see. Yes, it's mind and intelligence are completely absorbed. So completely absorbed. Because something for when she heard Krishna's name, she was captivated. She couldn't go away from that place. Satyabhama was waiting for a moment. She's not ready. She also was past. And when she thought it was very then they realized, oh, this is that's so complete. In fact, it's not Arjuna who was celebrating it's almost Krishna is in fact completely able to that's completely sold himself to Arjuna. That was the readiness. You all know that Arjuna is on his son. That's one relation. Surrender soul, on son, and sisters are good. So these are all very intimate relationships. So being the case, such a personality is standing in front of Krishna and is expressing us. That's what we also as an astonishing for Sanjay. And I just almost waiting more than the relationships. All of you are very going to Sanjay is being said as the message of gurus who after 30 years, my own salary side. The ones and other way and they were taking share and the income of this part of that. They wanted to try to please everyone. So we wanted to know so as soon as Krishna advised that God to specifically allows Sanjay to the place where Krishna, Arjuna, Draupadi were resting. And by the time Sanjay reached, this instruction was already given to the God to show it. So as Sanjay by the time it was already almost the night. Krishna, Draupadi, and Arjuna, they used to sleep on the same way. The same way. Just like any couple shared their wedding with the purpose. However, nowadays situations, even bedroom is not sharing children. Whereas on the same way that Krishna and Draupadi were There is so many things. Purposefully, God instructed us to let Sanjay that into the building. And the ability of Sanjay is to see something when you look at something. Here, they will be share with inward everyone, the full blown not exaggerated, but he can present it as such a wonderful way. Here, that special skill. The story, whereas I think that what's it, obviously, to Sanjay narrates Mahabharata to chants Mahabharata to Krishna. So all these discussions that what the was over Sanjay returned back to Guru Ganyas and he was carried because of the journey. Sanjay really shared the evidence of this journey, but only these really shared the report of Guru. Here is what we do that you can ignore this 5%. This is the scene I came across. Intimacy between Krishna and Arjuna is so deep. I tell you, it's important for you to know the others. They are so deeply connected. So please forget about challenging this part of us. Keep whatever there is, what you will not do. He gave us some understanding these words. Now I'm waiting for a week. Tomorrow morning, I will share some information to you in the book. That's it, finish the whole night. You have not seen. And in fact, there's an interesting section in the section it's called Nikunali, Prachara Karva, Jagan, remaining away, Prachara completely remaining away. And in that section, Gita gives a wonderful instruction to listen to. Followed by another section called Sanas. These are all going to check in Mahabharata. What I share is that's the nature of level of such a personality is wherein I am able to find shivering, my hands are trembling, my Gandhi boy is just slipping away from my hands, just shedding tears. This man, it's mind-boggling. It's not the real Arjuna, and why all these things are happening. These were all made, enacted by the Lord. Arjuna was tuned like that, so that we don't discuss about such wonderful scenes in the world. So it's a fabulous discussion which is going on. We are going to get observing from now on. So I request all of you to relish these sections, sections that are going to follow in the reading of this sheet like that. So another guidance, Srinivas Guru and Mataji, you will get a so easily take full advantage of that. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
So any questions or comments on first quiz, please feel free to ask either of us. So we'll move to the next one. If you don't have any time, you can again call. Tam uvacha Rishikeshah. Tam uvacha Rishikeshah. Rahasan iva bharata. Rahasan iva bharata. Senayo Madhye. Senayo Madhye. Vishirtam idam vachaha. Vishirtam idam vachaha. So here is tam unto him. Now here Krishna is specifically addressing it for Arjuna. As we explained, is very dear. He is addressing directly to Arjuna. Uvacha, he said, Rishikesha, the master of the senses. So he is also qualified to give instructions to Arjuna. What was Krishna's qualification here? He is the master of the senses. Someone who has not controlled his senses, he cannot become a guru, spiritual master. So that was Krishna's qualification, that he was the master of the senses. And prahasan means smiling. Although it was a problem for Arjuna, Krishna was smiling, which means he had the solution ready. Sometimes you go to someone with a problem, they're also equally serious because they're trying to understand what is your problem and find a solution, and they're not sure whether they can solve your problem. So generally they are serious. But here Krishna is smiling because he understands Arjuna's problem. He knows what is the solution and how he knows how that Arjuna will be able to solve it also. And Eva, like that, Bharata, Dhritarashtra, descendant of Bharata. So here Sanjay is addressing Dhritarashtra as the descendant of Bharata. Although Dhritarashtra is all along been supporting his sons, the Kauravas, at least now you should support Dharma. That's what Sanjay is trying to remind Dhritarashtra, because you are a descendant of Bharata, who is the ruler of the entire universe, Bharata, Varsha. So, what is he saying? Senayogo of the armies. Ubayaha of both parties. Now, Krishna is not just trying to flatter Arjuna, just to please Arjuna. He is openly discussing in front of both the armies. He is just like a call for an open discussion. It's not a closed room discussion only with those who are favorable to you, you discuss. No, he's openly putting it even in front of the opposing army. Even they can have something to say in this matter. So, in other words, he's speaking for their benefit also, even for the army. Because by hearing this instruction, not only Arjuna will benefit, the opposite party also stands to benefit. Just like when we are giving a talk, it's not necessary that everyone will appreciate our talk. There will be always someone to criticize what we are saying. So Krishna is open to that also. Therefore, he is speaking in front of both the armies, because each one is thinking, I am following Dharma. Even when Duryodhana was the king, people liked his rulership. Even when Hitler was the ruler, people liked his being the ruler, because there's something to gain from everyone. So even the Kauravas felt they are fighting for Dharma, and Pandavas thinking we are fighting Dharma, but the opposite party also thinking they are fighting for Dharma. So therefore, Krishna is trying to give conclusive knowledge and Vishidantam unto the lamenting one. So here the problem is with Arjuna. He is just like the mother is there, and the child is crying, the mother will pay attention to that particular child. So unless we express our problem, we are not going to get a profit for us. Just like many people have diseases, but they don't go to the doctor. They think I'm quite fine. But the intelligent person knows that something is wrong and better I address it immediately. So here Arjuna is lamenting. What for is he lamenting? For not being able to perform his duty. And that kind of lamentation is welcome. Just like if you are not performing well and you want to know why I'm not performing well, that is good. So here, and he has the following words. O descendant of Bharata, at that time Krishna, smiling in the midst of both, spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna. So here it says the talk is happening between intimate friends, as he very nicely explained. When there is intimacy, you can go to any extreme. There are sometimes even you can beat the other person if you want to fall on track. Just like I cannot beat someone who's not my child, but if it's my own child, out of affection, I can even beat and scold. So here that intimacy is already there. It's an eternal principle. So in this intimacy, there is some talk going which is very serious. As he said, if you are very near and dear, when something is happening to him, you won't keep quiet. You will definitely point it out and try to help him in either way. So what is this conversation going on between two people who are already well accomplished? Rishikesha is already mastered his senses. Krishna is forever control of his senses. As far as Arjuna is concerned, he had overcome ignorance and sleep. As he said, Arjuna used to practice archery even in the night. Like Bhima used to eat even when others are sleeping, he is able to eat in the night, even in the dark around. Similarly, Arjuna used to practice even in the night. So that was Arjuna's Buddha spirit. And so in one sense, they are on the same level. in the sense that both were already accomplished, but one voluntarily became student of the other. Just like I may be a very good lawyer, but if something goes wrong with my health, I have to go to a doctor, or even I may be a doctor myself, and supposing I'm not well, I will not say that I will treat myself. No, I am a doctor, yes, but I am right now not well, so better I approach a doctor. So similarly, in this situation, Arjuna understood that although I am well accomplished, I still have to take guidance from Krishna. And so, in that sense, also Krishna was smiling that yes, although he is almost on equal level with me, he chose to accept advice from me, accept instructions from me. So Krishna is also all the more pleased to impart knowledge to Arjuna. And but nevertheless, Krishna is always in a superior position than Arjuna. And not only for Arjuna, he is the guide of all the living. Krishna Bande Jagadguru. Just like there's only one sun. The one sun is able to give light to all the universes. Similarly, Krishna can give instructions to everyone simultaneously by giving this instruction to Arjuna. So already we saw what was Arjuna's qualification to receive knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. He is a non-envious. He is not envious of Krishna. And also he is a devotee. Devotee means whatever Krishna says, Arjuna has that discipline to follow that. And so here it says Krishna accepted with gravity. Gravity means he is coming down to the problem immediately. He is not postponing his advice. Sometimes you want to tell someone something, but you think, okay, not now, later. No, Arjuna, Krishna is directly coming to the point. That's why it says gravity. He's understood what exactly is Arjuna's problem, and he is willing to address it straight away. And so it's also said here that it was openly exchanged in the presence of both the armies. Just like a very qualified person, he doesn't mind to hear criticism from others. Some politicians are there all the time, they are being criticized by the opposition party. But they don't mind it. In fact, they think that it helps them to govern properly. So you accept someone to criticize us. So and at the same time, Krishna was trying to benefit both the parts, not only Arjuna, he was trying to benefit the Kauravas also. And that's why even he went as a messenger to stop the war. Many people say that Krishna only instigated this war. He could have stopped this war. Yes, he tried it. He tried himself to go and settle this war with Duryodhana. But when Duryodhana insisted that there should be war, then only Krishna took the side of Arjuna. Otherwise, Krishna was willing to in fact, Krishna gave his army also. So the talks of Bhagavad Gita are not for any particular person or society. So in other words, you see now Bhagavad Gita even in Pakistan, any country you name it in the world, which seemingly like Ukraine and Russia, the war is going on. But Ukraine and Russian devotees both are reading Bhagavad Gita, they come together in Mayapur, in the headquarters. They are like friends, although their own countries are at war. So this Bhagavad Gita can be openly discussed among everyone. Okay. With this, I request him to add.
So our discussion has been happening between Arjuna and Krishna in some particular study. Now there are more students. There's a more students and we see that because in the level of Krishna, Arjuna was like very serious. He was deciding he was deciding he was mostly visible as a Before this, when they are accelerated, you know, Arjuna access Krishna as spiritual master at the right of the time. Krishna is spiritual again and give to the point. What you really know what is. The way we are introduced to consciousness, that was the real system. They want to follow us lectures, provide us the I think the man as a model Krishna Arjuna is very and nobody is wrong. What he can't is well known. So, it's a very only how many people is now. It's really avoid each one is the same by practically. They are really lost from each other. Even both of us need to they want to know stability on so we need more yes. But Arjuna, though he is supposed to be in the fire, he was depending on. So he understood Krishna was smiling because woman certainly has certainly come on my that. He's special in the how the create for this meeting that we are. So, as far as the response for this devotees or other situations concerned, you will never see the pictures that a lot of us said on the novel was not really good at the situation. His response, whatever these devotees said, just a gentle smile at the situation. No, the translation, numerous and slow when you read more which is about the 2030 slokas, and the government even is always he will not use highest language. So here the same thing. He's looking at Arjuna, so all these things you are not listening to people. They are so smart, but no, you're not learning. So you will have to learn and through you and in fact, as I explained before, he's well known. He must always just he doesn't require any further than that. Just wherever you say, just go shoot them. But not this is a great lesson for us. How to promote such things. Submissive. No, that's very easy. You have one of that first salary. So, again, with respect to the situations, how in all of this, so, how are we going to respond to those situations? How are we going to react? How are we going to respond? Then we actually focus as we respond. So, Arjuna focuses on leaders. Finally, even he doesn't matter. We want in fact forces ladies are ladies now we never force us on the matter. This area is time. So that's the beauty of what's method of creation. He at least not even trusting this or giving that often for the through that two steps of taking a position. We I don't and God especially master feedback to learn these things. It's going to be very, very easy for us. Correct.
I think we'll end with one last verse, although we plan to do more. If you have any questions, you can straight away ask. So here we see what is Lord's response. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Ashocyan Anvachotastvam. Ashocyan Anvachotastvam. Prajna Vadamscha Vashate. Prajna Vadamscha Vashase. Gadasu Agadasumscha. Gadasu Agadasumscha. Anusochanti Panditaha. Anusochanti Panditaha. Here, first it says Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Bhagavan means who possesses all opulences like strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, realization, and fame. So, such a person is speaking to Arjuna. And here you also notice in this verse, Ashocyan, Anushochanti. Shoch means, here it says, thinking, not worthy of lamentation. And Ashocyan, Anvashochas, Nanushochanti, these are all related words. Then Prajna means learned, Vashasi, speaks. Gatasun, Agatasun. These two words are there, opposites. So Shri Bhagavan Vacha, Krishna God said, Ashocyan, not worthy of lamentation. The lamentation means you think that you do something. You feel sometimes I'm losing. But here, Krishna is telling Arjuna, you are thinking that you are losing something, but not. So, Ashocyan, not worthy of lamentation. Anushochaha, you are lamenting. What you think you are actually losing is, in one sense, it is not the reality. And basically, he is referring to the body. From you, Prajnavadan, learned talks. You are talking as if you are very learned. But what is a learned person who will not lament for something which is not lamentable? Although you are learned, you are lamenting for not something which is not worthy of lamentation. So that is how he is trying to point out. Cha also Vashase, speaking. You are speaking like a learned man. Normally, a learned person, you can find out by how he is speaking, how he is behaving. So what Krishna is trying to say, you're speaking something, but you are not acting according to that. You're speaking like an intelligent man, but you are not acting like an intelligent man. So that's what Krishna is able to point out straight away. What is the problem? Gata, lost. Asun, life. Agata, not past. So the soul, in other words, Krishna will start instructing about the difference between the soul and body. How the soul is permanent and the body is temporary. So, and never anushochanti, lament, panditaha, the learned. So some things are permanent, that cannot be changed, and some things are temporary, that also cannot be changed. So the learned person knows this fact, and he doesn't try to alter it. The Supreme Personality God said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. So, what is the living thing? The soul, and the dead is the matter. It's already dead. Actually, it's dead only. Just like these objects are no life in it, but it acts as if it has life because I am imparting life to the dead object. So here, Krishna takes the position of a teacher and chastises the student, calling him indirectly a fool, which means the teacher has to correct, just like you see in the kindergarten, the teacher has to correct the child at every step. If he lets him do whatever mistakes he's doing, then it will become very costly. And as the child grows, if it continues with those mistakes, it will become embarrassing for the teacher and the parents. So then and then it has to be corrected. So that's what here Krishna is doing. Immediately he's trying to correct the problem. And you are talking like a learned man, but you do not know that one who is learned, one who knows what is body and what is soul, does not lament at any stage for the body, neither in the living nor in the dead condition. Because the laws which are governing the body are different from the laws which are governing the soul. So you don't try to mix it up. Arjuna argued that religious principles should be given more importance than politics or sociology, but he did not know that knowledge of matter, soul, and the supreme is even more important. So here it says religious principles. Religion means something which has to be followed. But generally we follow our belief system. Although someone has said this is the right and wrong, you still say, no, you may be right, but I like to follow this. Just like the doctor is telling the patient, you will do this. And supposing the patient says, okay, you may be saying that, but I like to do this. So that is not very intelligent. So religion means something which has to be practiced. So what Krishna tells to Arjuna is something which is not optional, but he has to practice, that is to fight and to give up this identification with the body, that is the soul. So the body is born and is destined to be vanquished today or tomorrow. Therefore, the body is not as important as the soul. Of course, the body is important, but at the same time, you cannot preserve it forever. Supposing you buy this laptop and you decide, no, if I use the laptop, it will get spoiled. So that's not intelligence. You have to use it, and if you're going to use it, definitely it's going to wear out. So similarly, the body has to be used for the right purpose, and in the process, it may be even be killed. So just like the army person is there, if he fights, he has to fight, having taken up the role of an army man. And in the process, he may get killed also, or he may have to kill someone. But nevertheless, he has to perform the duty of the soldier. So there's no cause for lamentation, which means you're bound to lose something in this process of fighting. You're bound to, once you acquire the body itself, it is a fact that you're going to lose something. Although you'll be gaining something with the help of the body, in the process you'll all be losing. So this has to be accepted and move forward in life. So we'll end our session here. You want to add some one or 2 points? If not, you can ask any last questions and then we can go to the next chanting.
Krishna, so we are deliberately going slow, so that it is in digest different bite sizes, so that it doesn't become too much in one go. And secondly, we are also trying to provide statements. That is why we want to put this opportunity for the and be very kindly incentive. So please feel free to ask whatever comes. It can be related to us. It can be not related to us. We can give questions for 10 minutes.
We'll just have a quick short quiz. So, what does Rishikesha mean? Rishikesha, master of the senses. Gudakesha, conquered sleep and ignorance. Yeah. So, Parantapa means chastising of the enemy. So, chastising the mind also. And Govinda means gives pleasure to the senses. God is actually wants to make us always happy. Plan of God is to always see us happy, just like the parents always want to see the child happy. Although that is the plan, right now we are getting into problems. So which means there is something wrong with us, not with the plan of God or God Himself. So that is here, Govinda. The next verse, what are the so why Sanjay is addressing Dhritarashtra? What is the name he is using for Dhritarashtra here? What name? Bharata. Bharata. He is reminding Dhritarashtra that you belong to the Bharata. So you should act very prudently. And now why Krishna is smiling here? What is the reason we said Krishna is smiling here? Yes. Is he smiling because he is happy that Arjuna is in problem? Yeah. Yes. Yes. As we mainly said, he is appreciating that Arjuna is coming to him for a solution. Although Krishna has the solution, at least Arjuna knew that he has to find the solution from Krishna. So that is, that's what, just like the child is there, say, making some mistake, but it comes to the father or the parent with that problem. Then the parents are very happy. Yes, this child, he could have tried to solve the problem by himself, but he specifically thought of coming to me. So then Krishna is also happy to see that Arjuna has come to him. And why here this Bhagavad Gita is being discussed in front of the army? He could have taken to a separate room, private room, and he could have discussed with Arjuna separately. But he chose to speak in front of the army. What were the reasons? Yeah. So two things I explained, that he wanted to openly discuss so that both parties will benefit. And if there's any opposition, that was also Krishna was trying to address. Not a one-sided discussion. And the last verse. What is the meaning of Bhagavan? Why Krishna is addressed here as Bhagavan? He could have said Krishna Uvacha. Why the word Bhagavan is used? Yeah, he possesses all the opulences. He has everything. He doesn't need anything more. Such a person. And what is his main instruction? Yeah, not to lament. For what it is not worthy of lamentation. That is, the body is going to perish. And this soul is going to be forever. So, although these instructions will come later on, here itself is going to give an indication that you should pay attention to what is important and what is less important. It's not that body is not important, yes, it is important, but relative to the soul, it is less important. It is depending on the body, is depending on the soul. In that sense, it is secondary. And okay, that will end here. We'll do one round of time. So we have distributed beads. We'll chant one round of the Maha Mantra. See, we have discussed so many things. We have used so many words and tried to convey the information. But all this knowledge and information is contained in the mantra. Of this Maha Mantra is the source of all knowledge. Let's take Om, the word Hu and Hu. It is said to be the consonantal sound vibration from which all knowledge is revealed. Just 3 syllables can reveal all knowledge. So similarly, the 1632 syllables are there, which give us all knowledge. Although immediately we may not understand this Bhagavad Gita. Even if we understand, we may not be able to practice Bhagavad Gita or know this so much vast knowledge is there. But when we chant this Mahamantra containing these 32 syllables, all knowledge will be revealed. Along with the knowledge, understanding will become, and along with the understanding, the ability to practice that knowledge will also come through this chanting Mahamantra. So that's why it is known as Mahamantra. Basically, when we control the mind, we are able to access all knowledge that is being given by Krishna. So we'll chant this Mahamantra 108 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So although we use zeros and ones, but only by using 0 and 1s you are able to run the computer, which means you are able to store information. So this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is giving us information about ourselves, about God, material nature, and their relationships. So on this Japamala, there are 108 beads. We do something in regulation, just like you take a medicine, the doctor says 3 tablets a day. So because it has to deliver the effect. Similarly, when we chant this Mahamantra, we chant in a regulated fashion to get the desired effect. So we chant minimum 108 times. On each bead, we chant the Mahamantra once. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So 3 things are important. One is you chant it audibly. At least it should be audible for you to hear. Because you can only cure your problems. So the benefit, you can only benefit yourself. So we have to chant it audibly and you have to hear attentively, because the nature of the mind is to go many directions. You cannot stop the mind from thinking or going in different directions. But what you can do is at least try to pay attention. So second and third is you use the fingers to touch the beads, because the sense of touch is the most sensitive. If the person is sleeping, you go and touch him, you wake up. So similarly, when we use this beads to while chanting, it avoids distraction. And before we chant this 108 times, we recite what is known as the Panchatattva mantra, the truth revealed in 5 features. Just like we have 5 fingers, we can hold on to something very tightly when the child is there. So this Panchatattva mantra will help us to overcome any problems we may face while chanting this Mahamantra, because this Mahamantra is chanted 108 times. Obviously, when you are chanting so many times, some mistakes are bound to happen. So to overcome those effects, we chant this only one time, this Panchatattva mantra. So please recite this Panchatattva mantra along with me once. And then 108 times we'll repeat this Mahamantra. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna Krishna जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. So we'll do Arati now for 10 minutes and then we'll serve dinner. Prasad, so please be patient for that 10 more minutes. So, on your behalf, I would like to thank Prabhuji for having come here and Guru Kripa, my Prabhu. Guru Kripa means the mercy of the spiritual master. Yesterday we had an event in ISKCON, 1,000 people are gathered. When he said 1,000 will come, I never expected 1,000 come, but 1,000 came. And then furthermore, he said 1,500 came. And then he was estimating the expenses. I thought, where will the money come from? And it came. So that's his level of organization, and his presence makes many things happen. So I'd like to invite him again. He keeps coming to Chennai because his family is here and he's working in Dubai. Whenever he comes, he can feel free to come and address you. Like this, we'll be having regularly guest speakers also apart from us. We are like spare wheels and they are like special wheels. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. So, we are another step. There's a fact.